VOC Breakfast. Weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m.
26 minutes after 7, continuing our conversation then this morning around the challenges experienced as it relates to insurance. Joining us on the line now is the lead Ombud for the Life Insurance Division of the National Financial Ombud, Denise Gabriels. Denise, good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Ashraf and listeners. Thank you for having me.
What do you think, diagnosing the problem, Denise, what do you think the issue actually is? Is it a matter of there actually being fundamentally something wrong with how these products are structured? Or is it a matter of the layperson not understanding it and perhaps, the providers not explaining it in layman's terms and instead opting to use all of these fancy jargon?
Ashraf, I think that the main issue is often that consumers don't always understand the products that they've bought. So when they are sold, and that could be a function of the advisor not always explaining it properly, but many of these products are also sold online or telephonically. And yes, sometimes the process is a bit rushed and people don't always understand exactly what they are consuming or purchasing. And so the biggest reason for complaints in our office is, and it accounts for about 55% of complaints, are claims being declined. And that can be for various reasons. Often it's because the terms and the conditions of the policies are not met. So the person doesn't qualify in terms of the policy. And maybe they didn't understand exactly what they were purchasing. And then in some of the cases, it's a smaller percentage. They didn't always disclose their full history, medical history or financial history. So it's declined based on non-disclosure. And then the next biggest category that accounts for about 28% of our complaints received is because of poor service or poor communications by the insurer. Delays, lengthy delays, or the communication wasn't clear. Those, and then also premium related. The policies having lapsed and people don't think that they were lapsed properly, or premiums deducted when they shouldn't have been, etc.
Yeah. Is the onus then on the consumer, on the client, then essentially to ensure that they understand, or is there perhaps a role that that the providers can play in terms of making sure that people do understand? I mean, you speak about a lot of these products being sold telephonically. There, for example, I find a huge issue with, because it limits one's time to be able to understand. And we've all gotten calls from call centers, and we know it's the script is sort of rambled through, and without giving you adequate time to actually comprehend what you've just heard and make sense of it.
Precisely. Often people think they're buying full life cover products, that covers them in the event of death, be it from natural causes or anything, and then they are only covered for accidental death, which is obviously very narrow. And people don't always understand that. But what I do want to emphasize is that if you have purchased a policy such as that, or you do purchase something online or telephonically, even if you purchase it through an advisor, you by law have a 30-day cooling off period. And so read the policy terms and conditions carefully when you do get them. Ask questions if you don't understand. Rather clarify it up front, because in those 31 days you can cancel it, and then generally the premiums are refunded. You don't have to be stuck with that policy. But often people, 2-3 years down the line or 5 years down the line, when they claim, then only do they realize the limitations of the particular product that they've bought.
Yeah, and I guess that therein lies the issue, because it's essentially after something has already happened, you had perhaps a relative sense or peace of mind that you perhaps would be covered in that particular situation, and only then do you learn the range of different issues that you've already touched on. That is perhaps the reason why your claim is not covered.
Correct. And that's when, if you are, I would suggest you complain if you do think you've got a legitimate complaint. Either the advisor didn't, disclose fully or explain to you, or maybe misrepresented what the product was about. You have recourse to go back to the insurer, complain, lodge a complaint. If you're still not satisfied, if it's essentially about what the advisor told you, then we suggest you complain to the phase Ombud, who's separate from our office, but it is easy to complain to them. Or if it's about the product itself, or you don't think that your claim has been fairly assessed, then you can complain to our office if you don't get satisfaction. Our services are free, as is the phase Ombud, and if you get it wrong, you send it to the phase Ombud instead of us, or vice versa. Between us, we will see that it gets to the right forum to investigate that complaint. Both offices' services are free, informal. You don't need a lawyer, to represent you. It's quite an informal process. You can email us or telephone us to lodge a complaint. And I don't know if this is the time I can give you an email address.
Yes, please.
So it's simple. It's info, I-N-F-O, at nfosa.co.za. The NFOSA just stands for the National Financial Ombud Scheme of South Africa. So it's info at nfosa.co.za, and the telephone number is 0860 800 900.
Denise Gabriels, the lead Ombud for the Life Insurance Division at the National Financial Ombud. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.